Felonies are acts or omissions punishable by the revised penal code. So these are the elements of felonies. First one, there has to be an act or omission. So when we say act, that is any bodily movement tending to produce some effect in external world. So may makikita na. So it has an effect in the external world. And when we say omission, that is inaction or failure to perform a positive duty required by law. So, kumbaga, kung i-compare natin ang act at saka omission, ang act ay may ginawa. Ang omission ay walang ginawa. That is why you have there inaction, or that is the failure to perform. That is failure to do. The second element, it should be punishable by the revised penal code. And the act or omission is either by means of dolo or by means of culpa. So, tingnan natin ang dolo. So, literally, ang translation sa dolo is deceit. But, ang pinaka mas accurate na description sa dolo ay deliberate intent. So in other words, this applies to intentional felonies. So when we say intentional felonies, these felonies are said to be committed by means of an act or omission with deliberate intent. Kaya sinabi natin na ang pinaka-accurate na description sa dulo, instead of deceit, is deliberate intent or malice to do injury. So, ibig sabihin, sinadya, no? Ito yung act or omission, ang paggawa o ang hindi paggawa na sinadya. So, there are requisites to follow in order for intentional felonies to exist. We have the first one, there must be freedom. So, ang ibig sabihin ng freedom, the person is in full possession of free will to do a particular act. So, merong tinatawag na voluntariness on the part of the person na gawin ang isang bagay. If this is absent, the offender is exempt. For example, we have irresistible force or uncontrollable fear. Kagaya nung take up na natin na Latin maxim na actus me invido factus non est meus actus. Nang ibig sabihin doon, an act done by me against my will is not my act. So, yung pinilit lang siya, like, at gunpoint, sinabihan ni A si B, patayin mo si C. Kung hindi mo patayin si C, patayin kita. So, napilitang patayin ni B si C. So, in that regard, si B ay wala siyang tinatawag natin na freedom. He has no free will to do an act in his own accord. So, in that regard, ang malliable of course, ang si A, no? Siya ang namuwersa kay B na gawin ang isang krimen. So, hindi malliable si B, kundi si A ang malliable. Second, intelligence. So, ito yung ability of the person to know what is right and wrong. If this is absent, like in the instance where there is imbecility or insanity, or the person is a minor, 15 years old and below, and even over 15, but under 18, but acting without discernment. So the person is still exempted from criminal liability because there is no intelligence. There may be freedom, but if there is no intelligence, then the same effect the person or the offender is exempt from criminal liability. The third one is intent. So that is the will of doing a particular act. So if this is absent, the offender is justified, like in the case of lawful or insuperable cause. Kahit na ang self-defense. So, ang tatlong requisites na to must be present. If anyone is lacking, then the person cannot be said to be liable for intentional felonies. So, in other words, itong mga elements na to, mag-apply lamang sa intentional felonies. Lalo na sa third element, yung tinatawag na intent. Because ang freedom at saka intelligence, as we will know shortly, ay makikita din natin yan sa culpa. Balik tayo. Culpa. So, culpable felonies performed without malice, but there is what we call as fault. Because when we say culpa, it means to say fault. The requisites are the following. Same with dolo. There is freedom. Second, there is intelligence. And the third one that differentiates this one to dolo is the concept of fault. There are two types of fault. It could be negligence or imprudence. So, tinatanong ang mga ito sa board examinations. That is why we need to know exactly which is which. Madaling masabi na ang pinag-usapan natin ay negligence because ito, ang letter G, dito sa negligence, i-connect lang natin sa foresight. Kasi ang foresight may letter G. Okay? So, lack of foresight. It has something to do with looking forward, seeing what may possibly happen. So that is why it is also being defined as deficiency. Ibig sabihin, kulang of perception. Perception has something to do with the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. So the next we have imprudence, lack of skill. We can connect letter I dito, sa I dito naman, sa skill. Ang pinaka-connection ng imprudence ay skill, ang sa negligence ay foresight. So the other meaning of perception is deficiency of action. So remember, ang skill has something to do with action. So that is why we can connect skill and action with imprudence, and in the case of negligence, we connect it with foresight and perception. Sometimes, ang ginagamit, no, may isang board exam question na ang ginamit instead of foresight ay foreseeing. Meron pa rin letter G na mai-connect natin sa negligence. So, we'll be able to remember the terms exactly. Okay, let us get back.